For the past year, I've been creating a new dance piece every season. The season of summer is no different. I would say three big influences for the poem dance for this season are Brian De Palma, my recent visit to Cambodia, and cherries, in no specific order. What's been on my mind lately, what connects all three of these influences, revolves around the idea of release. In my medical work, I've been noticing more and more that in many of those people who often suffer from the most insidious of illnesses or chronic diseases that persist despite all sorts of treatments, there is this lack of a safe space in that person's life for healthy release, a healthy release of emotions, of energy, of mind clutter. I think many of us have a hard time looking at and acknowledging the parts of ourselves that we judge as dark or dirty or bad. And yet I've witnessed how an acknowledgement and acceptance of these parts of ourselves with even a little bit of playfulness allows for this release I talk about, and it can lead to incredible transformation on physical, mental, and emotional levels. So I really love Brian De Palma movies. Carrie and Dress to Kill are two of my favorites, and they were two of the earliest I saw also. I think I really was taken by them because they spoke to me a side of me that really craved catharsis in a way that felt safe. And I think we all have this within us.
Sa parfaite obscurité est ta revanche au petit matin.
While I was living or visiting Cambodia, I had the opportunity of seeing some of the temples in Angkor, including Angkor Wat, and I was blown away by the beauty. I felt so serene on those grounds, and at the same time I was reading a book that I can only describe as harrowing. It's an autobiography written by Chanrithi Him, who is a Cambodian woman who now lives in the United States, and it tells the story of her family's experience under the Khmer Rouge and her survival. It was hair-raising, actually, reading the book as I traveled through Cambodia, because a lot of what I was seeing from Takeo province to Phnom Penh to areas just outside of Siem Reap, she was describing in her book, and it made the story that much more real. I think we often read stories such as Miss Him's, as disturbing as they can be, because stories that look again at the dark side of human nature, I think they connect us to parts of ourselves that are truly compassionate, and they have the ability to stoke our empathy and our understanding for others, which is healing of in and of itself. As for inspiration from cherries, I found myself in a fantastic cherry tree a lot this summer, picking these fruit, and I've gained insights from that experience. When you see perfect-looking cherries next to rotting ones, it's an incredible visual reminder that both beauty and its opposite coexist, and that both belong in the life spectrum. I think to ignore one side is to dishonor the other side. And when I see a cherry that's been taken over by a worm, a fungus, or just too overripe, when I then see a cherry in its perfect ripeness, I have even more appreciation for it. Cherry juice also has the most beautiful color, and in certain lights it can look bloody, but it gives the sweetest juice. And as for anyone who's ever eaten a few cherries, you know that they are very helpful for physical release. Apart from their slight laxative effects, cherries, by the way, contain melatonin, and so I often recommend them when they're in season for those struggling with insomnia. All these inspirations are helping me explore in this dance piece how we turn away from and then how we can begin to turn towards ourselves that are not so PC, those parts of ourselves that are not so, I don't know, accepted, the parts that we've judged as wrong, and how we can acknowledge and honor more of ourselves.
Je crois que mon moi lutte contre l'oubli. Je hais déjà la triste nuit 53. Je crois que mon moi lutte contre l'oubli. Je hais déjà la triste nuit 53.
I'll be sharing the poem that I'm currently writing for the dance piece next month in July. And until then, please continue to look here weekly for weekly videos. Like this video if you liked it, and please subscribe. I hope you're having a wonderful summer so far, and much love.